What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Azura Media Club, home of the Bad Girl Coven. I'm your Coven leader, Emily. Today here we're talking about... Oh, there we go, finally. We're talking about Finding Nemo. I found him. He's right there. Actually, that's Marlon. Is he even on the cover? Oh, yeah, he's up here. See, I found him. Oh, whoop, right there. It's very tiny on the cover. And he's very tiny in the movie. Anyway. Stupid joke. Anyway, so... Finding Nemo, kind of right after I stopped paying attention to Pixar movies. I mean, I guess I hadn't really, paid that much attention to Monsters, Inc., but, there was this daycare that I went to where they watched it a lot, or the one girl, her nickname was even Boo, or whatever, because she kind of looked like the girl from Monsters, Inc., Also, by the way, the soundtrack in this movie, very good. Very well done. Apparently it's Thomas Newman, not Randy Newman, But, his brother or something, I guess. It's super good soundtrack. Very emotional, soundtrack. I mean, that's a lot of Pixar movies, right? They all have these emotional, great soundtracks, but it's worth praising them because... they deserve it. They do a lot of the work, a lot of the heavy lifting, but also the acting in terms of the characters and whatnot. The voice acting, I should say. Obviously, there's no, motion capture as far as I'm concerned at this point, but anyway. So yeah, Finding Nemo. Not one I saw or, knew about as much, or I don't even think I saw it till way later on. And if I had, I only saw it in parts before or something. So but yeah, I mean, I've gone kind of back and forth on it. I think generally more recently within the last 10 years or last few times of watching it, I'm really positive on it. Before I was kind of it's all right, but I think I kind of got that impression from my friends or whatnot. I know Jameson at one point was it's okay of a movie, and so I kind of a lot of times those kind of things stick with me, and but on rewatch it's very good. There is a lot of stuff in the middle that's just kind of part of a journey, part of an adventure, but it always comes back to Marlin, Nemo's father, is out there looking for Nemo. There's this big long epic journey, but he's this very protective sort of parent because of what happens at the beginning. Spoilers for Finding Nemo, I guess, if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, it's great. But there's this really good opening bit, and I think this is one of the standout bits for me of the movie in terms of just writing. I mean, the writing is solid all over the place. There's a lot of jokes and stuff, like I said, but I feel like this opening is just very well done. And I remember there being some kind of extra or something where the director was talking about the opening, and they're the movie didn't really work until we started with that opening. Because the father just kind of seemed like he was being way too overprotective and just kind of insane. And they were going to have that scene, but they were going to have it later in the movie or whatnot. But eventually they realized this needs to go at the beginning to kind of get you right there and invested in the characters, and I think that was a really brilliant touch on their part. So in the opening you see Marlin and Nemo's mom. I don't know her name or if she has a name, but they're in this new home or whatever in this anemone, right? Anemone, yeah, anyway. And you see their babies, and there's hundreds of them, and you're oh gosh, cool, there's a lot of babies. And then this really dangerous eel or whatever that was, or I don't think it's a shark, but it's just some kind of dangerous fish, comes along. Everyone scrams to get away from it, but they're sitting there out in the open, and then she goes right down for the babies, and Marlin gets knocked out. He couldn't do anything to protect the babies, and when he wakes up, his wife is gone and all the children are gone except for one little egg that's cracked, And he's like, I'm gonna take care of you, Egg. You know, it's all right. I've got you. That ends up being Nemo. And he only made the name Nemo because that's what the mom, she's like, I like Nemo as a name. So it's very respectful to her memory to call him Nemo and whatnot. And you know, I have to assume being a single parent is rather difficult. Raising a kid, you know, and especially a kid like Nemo has this like fin that's kind of broken because of the way, you know, that he was born, or that whole attack and all of that. And so his father constantly sees him as having this disability and he can't do things that other fish can. But, you know, Nemo just wants the opportunity to try to do those things. He never gets the chance to do those things. Later on, there's a really great bit where he's out there with sea turtles out in the ocean on the current, and one of the little baby sea turtles gets like thrown out of the current, and he like dashes after this thing. He's like, whoa, you know, we gotta go get that thing. We gotta go get that little baby sea turtle. And the dad just is like, oh, wait, just let's see what he does on his own. And he eventually gets back into the flow of things. And, you know, it's one of many moments that Marlin kind of realizes, like, hey, maybe I need to give my son some credit, or just, you know, everyone some credit, Dory some credit, to, like, do their own thing or be correct when I'm not correct, you know, kind of thing. So, or when I think I'm right, you know, I don't need to be as overprotective, you know, kind of thing. And it's like you understand why he's so overprotective because of the scene at the beginning, and that's why it's great. But you also understand Nemo's perspective because he's just so overbearing, you know? And so it's a really nice kind of dynamic there. And this, you know, so Nemo's going off to school. Marlin's all really worried about that. And then eventually they go to this drop-off area where, like, the open sea is there and just, you know, cascades out into the real ocean, you know, like deep waters and whatnot. And they see this boat, and you know, which they call a butt because that's funny, I guess. And they go and they, well, Nemo's trying to defy his father by going out there and touching it, basically. And so he swims out there, he touches it, but then like a guy comes down and like grabs him and takes him away, you know. And that's the whole adventure. Marlin's like freaking out. He's trying to find him. He's chasing after the boat and stuff, and then he runs into Dory, who's this fish with short-term memory. And I think there's got to be some good elements of, you know, him having to take care of Dory a little bit too. But she also knows stuff, you know. She knows how to read and stuff like that, even if you can't remember specifically how to do that. They have to learn to work together because, you know, they're all that each other has is this this relationship, and Marlin's constantly giving up, and Dory's point in the movie is to tell him to just keep going, you know, just keep swimming, basically, which becomes a really inspiring message. And there's this part at the end where they get caught up in this, like, this net, and Marlin's the only one that's free, and he adopts that mentality, like, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Everything, like, that scene and everything around that scene really works, I feel like, because it's like, you know, it's right when they've been reunited, him and Nemo, and that's really special. And then also, there's that great moment where he's like, you know, I met a sea turtle, and he's like 150, and Nemo's like, but Sandy, you know, whatever, said, and he's like, you don't think I know more than her? Like, after traveling the ocean and having this grand adventure, you know, of course I'm going to know that a sea turtle is 150, You know, because this is like a question that he asked him at the beginning of the movie or whatever. So it's just kind of, it's really nice. It's really touching. It's very endearing, this relationship between him and his son. And Nemo gets like caught and put in this like fish tank. There's a whole bit about him trying to get out there with like the William Dafoe fish for whatever reason. He's in this movie, I guess. So, but yeah. So that's kind of Nemo's side of things, and then like, but there's this great moment after they've like gone and gotten past these sharks who are actually like nice, I guess. Like they're trying to get off of eating fish, basically. Um, and they get past these jellyfish and like all this other stuff and a whale and stuff. I don't think the whale had happened that, but the story starts traveling about this marlin who's trying to go and save his son, and so it starts traveling across the ocean, and eventually it gets to Nemo, and Nemo's like, that can't be my dad, and then he's like explaining it, and he's like, wow, that is my dad, like, you know, because before he was so afraid, and now he's you know, he would do anything to go and get his son, and just that can do, I will do the impossible to go and find my son attitude, I feel like is like the heart of the movie. And this whole Dory and Marlin angle where it's like you just have to keep persevering and you can't give up, even when things seem impossible. I think a lot of those kind of themes are what really resonates in the movie. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in between that's like jokes and like some sort of actiony scenes that they're fine, you know. I mean, they all work towards the goal here. They keep things going, you know, and moving and whatnot. But I think definitely those themes of family and found family even, and just perseverance and fish helping fish, you know, people helping people, I guess, would be to you know, aspire to do great things, you know, to do the impossible, to reunite this father and son so that they can go on with their lives, you know, and I feel like definitely, you know, Marlin obviously, like I said, feels responsible for losing all of his kids and his wife, and so he feels like Nemo's like the only family that he has, but he ends up kind of feeling like Dory is his family by the end, and as much as in the next movie as well, Finding Dory there. So yeah, and you know, there's a lot of great scenes with Dory too. Like, and you know, just keep swimming. That's great. You know, that's a great message that Marlin needs to learn. Because I think he definitely would have given up without Dory. He tries to ditch her at a couple points in the movie, but he really did need Dory, you know. And I just think that's really nice, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty like mid to high tier Pixar movie. I don't want to say it's like the best Pixar. It's certainly not my favorite Pixar movie, but if somebody said it was their favorite Pixar movie, I could definitely see why and get on board with that. But I do really enjoy it, and it's always great for a rewatch. Because there's a lot of emotion there, you know. There's a lot of good stuff there. The damn it, Pixar, you know, all that. It's all there, you know. It's a very good example of an early Pixar movie, because they were just hitting it out of the park at this point, you know, and they will continue to hit it out of the park. You know, fucking Incredibles is incredible, you know, and Cars, okay, that's pretty good. I kind of prefer Cars 3, but you know, then you got like Ratatouille and Wall-E and, you know, all those great, Up and Toy Story 3. So from here it just kind of gets good. I mean, it never stops being good, you know what I mean, for a while, and then really, like, Pixar could do no wrong for the longest time, and then Then they released Brave, and everything went downhill. No, I'm just kidding. Brave was kind of the first chink in the armor, though, I feel like. And then, you know, eventually they did The Good Dinosaur also. That was kind of another one. People are kind of sour on Monsters University, but I actually really do like that one. We'll see on a rewatch, but there's a lot of good stuff there. Of course, Inside Out, you know. And then the later movies are kind of, you know, so-so. But, you know, this is definitely a good example of a Pixar movie, and especially an early Pixar movie. Very visually, like, stunning compared to some of the previous movies. And they all look great, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, they continue to up the level of production, like, every movie it feels like, you know, so really good, like, good emotion, good music, good storytelling, good character work. Just a solid and entertaining movie overall. So I think I'm gonna give it like an 8.7 out of 10. So yeah, until next time, this has been Emily with the Azura Media Club. Stick around, subscribe to join the Bad Girl Coven, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Never forget that magic comes from the heart. Emily out.